Hello and welcome to the Big Bank Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
And Dan, what a difference a week makes.
Aye.
What about that?
Pretty good.
We went from...
This is exactly what we predicted would happen.
After we'd been bemoaning it for an hour,
Yeah.
we then said probably something different will happen. And it did.
Well, scored a few goals. That's all we really asked for.
So if you missed it, listeners, Exeter City at home to Bristol Rovers, Joey Barton's Bristol Rovers, lol. City came
And
away...
if that's not for much longer, then Bristol Rovers, you're welcome.
Yeah. And City came away with a 4-1 victory. That doesn't really tell the whole story because we were 4-0 up after 24 minutes.
The 24, was it?
24.
Wow.
I mean...
Some Bristol Rovers fans tried to leave at that point.
They were trying to leave after 15.
And it was so early that the stewards were just like, well, we're not opening the gate. Because, I don't know why. You're allowed to leave anything at any point, except prison.
Maybe you're not, though.
And the Suzuki Tracks away end
Yes.
is not a prison. Why? You can, surely, of course you can.
No, but isn't it all to do with, police escorts and, coaches and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, but that's not the only way you're allowed to attend an away game.
I'm just wondering if...
Normal people just walk down the road to their car and went into the stadium,
Yeah, who
and
knows?
they're like, excuse me, I want to leave because this is shit.
Anyway.
They
weren't allowed to leave. They had to endure it all. A bit like that bit in Clockwork Orange where you got to have your eyes held open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that for a bit for them, wasn't it?
It really was.
And we've been there, haven't we? We know what it's like.
So City hadn't
It
scored.
wasn't a million miles worse when we Leighton Orient a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. We hadn't scored all season.
No.
And then 4 minutes in,
Yeah.
scored.
4 minutes, yeah.
So
The thing is, it seems a little bit like we've gone, everything was terrible before, and now it's brilliant. And it seems, we don't just react. We're not just reacting to, if we lose, it's awful, and if we win, it's brilliant. But it's just because it went from 3 games with not a goal. I mean, no goals.
not a
at
hint
all.
of a goal, to be
Not
honest.
even really a hint of a goal. And then they all came flooding at once, and we had this thing. So I think it's okay to be a bit,
Giddy.
a bit kind of like low and then high.
Yeah.
Because they're quite exaggerated kind of fixtures, aren't they?
In the words of Morrissey, I think we're oscillating wildly.
Right,
And I'm all right with that.
Yeah, me too. Not many things I'm all right with in the words of Morrissey, but
No.
that one I'll take.
Yeah. I think that's what it felt like. I said the phrase, like buses, isn't it, about 4 times on Saturday. So there we are.
Well, yeah. 4 times exactly, I'd imagine.
Probably.
Or 3.
3.
Yeah, you wouldn't say after the first
You
one,
wouldn't
would
say it's like buses after the first. That doesn't make any sense.
Also, you're saying this to your 5-year-old daughter?
She's nearly 7, but
Right, okay. So she's probably not exactly au fait with the phrase. But, that's how they learn.
I mean, it's
She'll
not
be
the
saying
first
that
time
to her friends in school.
she will. And that's why she'll be the coolest kid in school.
Yeah. When she can't find a green crayon,
Yeah.
and then she finds 4 of them. Oh, it's like London buses.
Yeah, that's right. She'll say that. I was also sending it to the woman sat next to me,
Oh, right.
who I didn't know.
So you actually went into the
I was in the Ivor Doble.
yeah. Is that what it's called?
No, IP.
Right.
The IP office.
Okay, yeah.
I was, yeah.
Being a good father.
Well, Martha gets some free tickets because of Junior Grecian
Oh, right.
every season. And so we were using the first of those. And it was good. But... So I wasn't stood with you, obviously. So
No,
we
different
were...
angle on those 4 goals, though. So we've got it sort of, 3D opinions.
Yeah, I'm like Kelly Cates and you're like Mark Chapman in the stands.
Yeah, okay. I'm Chappers, am I?
You're Chappers.
Right.
I'm Catesy.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, it was... I mean, there's a few things to say out there. Thing number 1, some of the new signings really coming into their own.
Yeah.
Thing number 2, Bristol Rovers weren't very good.
I think thing number 2 is very important.
That they weren't very
They
good.
were awful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not only was it... The thing is, Joey Barton... I mean, I don't know why I did, sort of in a way, because you sort of buy into the whole kind of it's like you can't not look at horrific news front pages. I want to just ignore him, but watched a few minutes of his post-match.
After the City game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really making out as if it was they were just really physical and energetic and all this stuff. And it's Yeah, and also you massively got it wrong,
Yeah.
like tactically, which anyone happens to the best of League Two managers, but just massively got it wrong. You got to hold your hands up at the end of the day. Do you mean like you pushed the wing backs too far? There was so much space in behind
Yeah.
for the likes of Amond running those channels and Key and Jake Caprice, and also the defending was non-existent. Like we shouldn't have really scored at least 2 of those goals.
Well, certainly not. I mean, so the first goal was Amond running in. I mean, just what we were hoping for, really, wasn't he? Like, just taking the ball and running with it a bit into the box. Kind of looked like he'd taken it a bit far. Shoots.
Yeah. Well, that's what he did all game. Like I said about, like a bit like Bowman used to do, but less effectively.
Yeah.
Run and pick those balls up as he's sort of like travelling out wide, pulling defenders all over the place, leaving a big gap in behind for Matt J, who had an absolute field day in that first half.
Yeah.
And then
The keeper kind of saved it, but
good
there was no
shot.
defending, was there?
No, but I mean, at that point, there's a couple of chances where the defenders could have just booted it away, and they didn't. But like Jay, tap in really.
Yeah, great for Jay to get on the score sheet. Oh, great for anyone, obviously, to get on the score sheet.
Yeah,
this
he's a bit
season.
of a slow start to the season, hasn't he? And it's
Yeah.
good for him to, back to normal.
Back to normal. I think Amond looks exciting, actually.
All of a sudden, I'm still not going to quite backtrack on that. We do need to still sign some more players, but all of a sudden, having him and Sam Nombe as a kind of option of a centre forward, with 2 genuine options,
Yeah.
which let's be honest, the last few seasons we haven't had.
Yeah.
If you kind of buy into the Alex Fisher isn't that good narrative.
Yeah.
He did score at the weekend, but so now we've got kind of 2 players genuinely competing for the same place. One older, experienced, goal getter at this level, and one young kind of guy trying to prove himself to get back to a level which he's, perhaps probably at himself or has been, So I think that's actually quite good competition, and also kind of like they can learn from each other or whatever, Like I think so. Suddenly that's looking quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then second goal, another of our. Well, it actually was very good interplay, and if you watch the, one of those highlights that they do where it's not the main angle.
360.
Yeah, that thing. It's all like Jay to Key to Brown to Amond to
Dieng's involved, I think, too, and he kite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Brown puts in Josh Key puts in a lovely cross.
Yeah.
And Jay with an excellent first time finish.
Yes, brilliant.
Wasn't it?
That's where you see the kind of like, everyone always talks about Jay being a technical player, and how technically talented he is.
Yeah.
And that was something else, wasn't it?
Wasn't it just the one place he could put it that the keeper wasn't going to get
so
to?
fast the way it happens as well, and it's like a low cross coming at him really quickly.
Yeah.
And he basically just kind of redirects it.
Yeah.
Using the power, because Josh Key, he's sort of like back to his best, really.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Although, like I said,
He had all the space.
so much space, but whips in this ball. It's about waist height, and Jay just kind of turns and redirects it with his foot. Quite low, isn't it? I mean, it's like lovely keeper, no chance on that one.
No.
And I mean, short of defending on that one, not so much you can do about that, really. I mean, close down Key, I suppose, but
I mean, I don't think they had enough chances, because that's the kind of fast-moving football we hope for with City.
yeah.
And
although if they managed to take our wing backs out of the game, that's really where a lot of kind of like the joy we were having was coming from. But
Indeed.
You're right. That one was difficult to deal with.
And this isn't a dig at Collins, but Collins, I think maybe we're seeing that Kite and Collins are different players, and Kite's maybe more inclined to a quick pass, as is Brown, as is.
Certainly. Look, I mean, Harry Kite's been impressing for a while, hasn't he? Quietly, and sort of, I'm not sure everyone really expected him to be
Well, we thought
next
Taylor's got to get the checkbook out, didn't we?
Breakthrough, did we?
No.
Yeah, and maybe he still does need to get the checkbook, because you can't suddenly. We're just like pinning our hopes on Kite, and then he gets injured or he loses. He can't keep it up the entire season, and we haven't bought anyone in. We haven't got anyone else in to maybe cover that, and then we're back to, I don't know, but. I think he is a bit different to Collins. I think the assumption was that he was just kind of Archie Collins Mark II, wasn't it? But I think he does move the ball. Certainly on Saturday, he was moving the ball a little quicker. Was maybe a little bit more forward thinking. Maybe that's just the exuberance of youth.
Maybe, as opposed to old Grandma Collins.
No, but I think he's maybe been kind of like over the last few seasons been moulded into a certain type of type of player.
Really so.
You know, I don't know.
Is this the start of the new glossy pitch paying off? So glossy,
Glossiness.
so
Is
shiny, so smooth.
Don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's always quite good at this time of the
true.
season, isn't it? You
It's
know,
true.
So.
Well, we'll see. Come
Well,
February.
the test will be in February.
Yeah,
won't it?
well. So that was 2-0. I think that was 12 minutes, something like that. Super quick. And then the third goal was another cross, wasn't it, to Timothy Dieng.
Yeah, this was Giovanni Brown this time, but
That's
he
right.
had again just another good game. I mean, we'll say that about every player on the pitch, basically, that they had a good game. But literally, we will. You know, like,
Yep.
and if we don't, we meant to. But Brown, yeah, brilliant again. Just again,
You
so
could
much,
really,
so much.
actually, he's the one that's really shone,
excellent touch. Yeah, he's the one who's looked good all the way through.
Yeah.
And now the rest of them are kind of like almost kind of up to speed with him, and everyone was on the same page. All those things were working out, you know, and just those just the little passing combinations, his control, his touch is great. Yeah, and he put like such a nice. I mean, the defense again for that Dieng header. No one anywhere near him. It's criminal. You'd be livid if you. And they were.
I mean,
the
they
Bristol
were.
fans, and I mean that is as bad as you can get defensively. It looked like teams playing against each other from almost like wildly different divisions.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
Oh, they were really very poor.
Barton's like making out as if they're like real big time massive club, and he said that every team is gonna. He said they're gonna be everyone's cup final. It's like Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
I don't think he is joking, but of course that's him all over.
But we
isn't
don't
it?
think that about Bradford, and they're a bigger club than Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's really not the case.
We
I
didn't-
know he's just trying to like. He just like got naturally got an extremely misjudged high opinion of himself, but that's mad. And honestly, that is really not going to be the case.
No. They got Barrow next week, so that might be a even ruder awakening for him.
Yeah, it's a tough game as we saw. You know?
Well, and if it feels a bit like stepping down into the gutter coming to Exeter City, then what does it feel like going to Barrow for him, eh?
Yeah,
Absolute joker.
but he knows about stepping into the gutter.
He
doesn't
does
he?
indeed, yeah. By the way, had he been to the fancy dress shop and asked for the Tony Pulis? I thought he was all like erudite and suave.
Well, he isn't either of those things, but he was pretending to be that for
I
a
thought
while.
that was his
wasn't he?
idea, wasn't it?
I think he's always been sportswear on the touchline. Yeah,
But like everything, that was the complete works.
yeah. Sat
Anyway.
in his little chair.
Did he have a little chair?
Sat on a little chair,
yeah.
and then he got up after a bit. Obviously, because you can't when you're 4-0 down, you can't be sat on a little chair, can you?
You know when Bielsa stole Matt Taylor's thunder over the old icebox bucket thing?
Yeah,
I think we've really missed a trick here. Taylor really needs to push through and be like, no, this is my thing. Because Leeds now sell a trademarked Bielsa bucket for
Do
80
they?
quid in the shop.
do they?
Yeah,
80 quid?
I know.
Blimey.
It's got a
The thing
cushion
is,
on
I
it.
mean, I've not done the research, but I mean, Bielsa's been knocking around for a few years.
But he hasn't always sat on a bucket.
Has he not?
No, that's a new Leeds United thing.
Is it definitely?
Yeah. I
Right.
read an article about it.
Okay, there you go. Wow, you got
That's
you
the kind
definitely
of
got a
research I'm
subscription
committed
to
to.
the Athletic, haven't you? How long was it? 10 pages on Bielsa's bucket.
I think it was a newspaper actually. I don't think it was
right.
the Athletic. But yeah, it's absolutely athletic fodder, isn't it? Yeah. But I thought Matt Taylor we could do a nice ECFC icebox.
I don't think he would be on board.
No, he wouldn't. No. Do you
Very-
board an icebox?
Very serious
You're just saying
man.
it. He is serious. Someone recently, I think this was someone on XWeb, likened him to on the new Alan Partridge, the woman who always disagrees with him.
Oh yeah,
And you know how
Ruth.
Yeah, yeah. I can't take credit for this. This was someone on XWeb, and they were like, "He's just like whatever the interviewer says." The Alan Partridge, he's like, "Well, no,
Right, even if it's
actually,
like yeah.
actually, Alan." It's like, oh yeah, he does do that. Very serious, to the point where someone said to him on Saturday, "Easiest game this season, or best first half this season," and he went, "Well, goals don't mean it was a good half." I was like, "Well, I think in this case it does, Matt."
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah. So if you haven't seen the most recent Alan Partridge,
What's it called this time?
A bit lost on you, but you still know what we mean, I suppose. But yeah, he's a bit like that. But it's sort of like I think he's just trying to play. He's always trying to do the sensible thing, isn't he? So when you win 4-0, he'll naturally try and just like play it down.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried. He's always basically not getting carried away one way or the other, and that's good. I think it's good to have level-headedness.
Yeah, true. It would have been nice for him to go like, yeah, it was a good half, because it was a really good half.
I imagine privately he cracked a smile, and I don't know.
Once he put on his snood on the way home, he thought, I can smile underneath this, and no one will know.
Maybe he had a nice little lager when he got in.
Maybe a half, a shandy.
He's a northerner. It was a pint or nothing.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I don't know about these northern things.
If you're going to have not a whole pint, you have a shandy.
Okay. So that was Dieng's goal. He looked delighted to score.
Yes, he did. He did the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration.
Oh, he did, yeah. Which Bristol Rovers fans didn't enjoy.
No, they didn't. But I mean, I like that. It's a bit strange for a French centre midfielder to do the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration, but if he wants to, let him.
I think he's been knocking around with a bunch of 10-year-olds in the park, because that's what they all do, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
I've seen several lads do that.
Okay, right.
On fields.
I mean, of course, I always think these people are like. I always see Exeter City players as being older than me, but of course, Timothy Dieng's probably like
10 years younger than Ronaldo.
Yeah, so he's probably sort of grown up as a kid watching Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a little boy watching Cristiano Ronaldo do that. So, whatever. Maybe he could sort of take on the mantle when Ronaldo retires. Yeah.
If anyone's listening,
now Timothy Dieng's.
If anyone's listening who was born in the 90s or onwards, you'll have heard of Jurgen Klinsmann, but what you won't know is the utter pain of... Klinsmann's used to do the dive, the slide along the floor. That was his first when he scored. And what you won't know is the pain of trying that in an August park as a kid and taking all the skin off the front of your body.
Asking for trouble, that.
No, absolutely was. So the Ronaldo's much safer.
I prefer the Ravanelli.
Remind me. Oh, over the old shirt over the face. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Shirt over the face, yeah.
You can try that one out, Timothy, if you're listening next time.
Yeah, maybe he's just doing that. Just every time he scores. But I can't imagine he'll get many, will he? But maybe.
Maybe.
If you're up against teams defending that badly, then maybe you will. He was really good. I mean, he really got about and like...
He's definitely an upgrade on Nige, isn't he?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, poor old Nige, he came on for about 10 minutes, then got clobbered and had to go off again.
Yeah.
So on came...
Let's finish with the fourth goal first.
Okay, yeah, let's get to that.
The Harry Kite. So that's his... Is that his first senior goal or his first league goal?
I don't know.
I should have looked that up. But it was a lovely goal. It was his first lovely goal, let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the 24th minute. This is when you knew everything was going right. Comes to Kite on... Was he outside the box?
Yeah. Another Brown assist. And again, nicely worked. I mean, again, we're getting all sorts of time on the ball by the Bristol Rovers defenders.
Yeah.
And ball just drops to Kite. I mean, it was so quick after the third one. This, and first time, it looked so good from the reverse angle from the big bank as well. I mean, you're actually right in line with the line of the ball, and like bottom corner, lovely,
very nice. And he may well get some more if that's how he's feeling about striking them from the edge.
Yeah, optimistic about him. He played really well.
He really did.
Yeah.
He really did.
He's got that thing, where a lot of, what I think is now a new phenomenon, started by Jack Grealish, which is like to really, I mean, he's bulked up over the summer. Kite, he looks a lot more, he's been in the gym. I mean, he looks a lot more stronger.
Yeah.
They've all got like big old legs, haven't they now?
The old big legs.
Because of the Grealish famous calves that he's got, big muscly legs.
Yeah.
I think kids now, in the past, the kind of like cliche was that these youngsters all go to the gym and they spend the whole time just doing like, arms and pecs and abs.
Yeah.
And they always skip in leg days. You see these photos, don't you, of like musty guys with little chicken legs.
Yeah.
But now, I think as a result of Grealish, they're all working on their cars. So he's got a big old set of legs on him, Harry Kite, and he used one of them to smash that fourth goal in.
Yeah. Thank you
very much. And I think
much.
it's down to Grealish.
And fitness first.
Yeah, but that's always been there. No one had big legs before. But I think he's contributed two things to the popular, culture. Grealish, that stupid hairband.
Yes.
But no, it's not stupid hairband. The hairband that everyone's wearing.
Unnecessarily.
Sometimes unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And big legs.
Okay. So that was 4-0 with still 15 minutes to go. And at that point, Bristol Rovers...
Of the first half.
Of the first half. At that point, Bristol Rovers players were desperate to leave. They had a chance, didn't they, to get one back in the first half. Kind of a goalmouth scramble that just went through.
Right, yeah.
But apart from that, it was all City. All City. Like, remarkably so. Second half comes. Obviously, the game's completely won. Completely done. And City just... Not take it easy, but, you know, the game's won, isn't it?
Yeah.
The game's
Second
won.
half, the idea, it was, you know, again, it was a bit more pragmatic, wasn't it? It's just like, let's just win this now. There's no point. They're obviously going to, at half-time, do something about this. Maybe if we kept pushing them. And we did have plenty of chances to score in the second half.
We did.
But
Jay had a few chances for hat-trick, first
Yeah.
half and second half,
Yeah,
didn't he?
and then there's two very good runs from Josh Key.
Remarkable. I
One-
saw them close up and they were exceptional.
One which he kind of missed on his left foot, wide of the far post, but a great run. And then the second one, he squared it to Sam Nombe, who'd come on for Amond, and it wasn't maybe the perfect pass for him, and he kind of got it caught up in his feet and then didn't quite get the shot away. But yeah, a couple of amazing runs. You mean from Key?
Yeah, he looks back to his best, doesn't he?
He looked brilliant yesterday. Yeah,
So he's got to cling on to him to the end of the transfer.
Yeah, please. I hope Sunderland weren't watching too closely.
No.
But yeah, we did have some chances to score. They also had plenty of chances to score. And it was obvious that they were going to get back into it a bit, especially if we decided to sit off. But they did have quite a fair few chances, and Cameron Dawson had to make quite a few saves.
Made some really good saves.
Yeah, very good saves too. I mean, I think he's looked quite impressive with his shot stopping, especially. Kicking was good again.
Yeah.
And there's one that he booted off the side, but other than that, very good. Right and left foot as well. You know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made some really good saves.
Spilled a couple of crosses, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not so good on the crosses.
But you can't have everything, you know.
No.
Maybe he'll improve.
And there was nothing he could do about the consolation goal from Bristol Rovers.
Well, no, that's just after he made a good save.
Yeah, it was.
Do you mean? But screamer.
Yeah, I mean, that was some goal, that. Probably the best of the five.
It's so far in the top corner. Yeah, it probably was the best corner. Something for the Bristol Rovers fans who did stay
Poor old Saps.
to see.
Yeah. So, City win 4-1.
Who's this Irene?
Wait?
Who's this Irene they go on about?
They always sing about Irene, don't they?
Who is it?
Don't know.
Right, we don't know. You don't know. I thought you'd know. Sort of thing you'd know.
Well, that's just their song, isn't it? That's a Pete Seeger song, isn't it?
There's no. It's got no significance to anybody
Not that
Bristol
not to my
related.
knowledge.
They just adopted it, so it's like
Well, they all, like I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles or
Sweet
whatever.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I think. I don't. Not to my knowledge.
We haven't got any sort of person in the well, apart from a stand-up, but that's got a reason, hasn't it? You know.
Yeah. We haven't really got a song, have we? Like a pop song that we play and sing along to.
No, we haven't. No.
I'm okay with that.
I think it'd be quite nice. Depends what the song is, doesn't it? Do you mean?
Well, you don't want to be something like by Muse, do you?
No, we don't want that. No. all singing along that guitar riff to Plug In Baby en masse. Yeah, we don't want that.
That might be quite good.
Better than some of the chants though.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Irene Goodnight. I don't know why they sing it.
Right. Okay. Oh, it's that song, is it?
I think so.
I mean, I didn't hear it much of it, but I just sort of, always sort of know. Anyway.
Yeah. So, Nombe came on. He's desperate to be a fan's favourite, isn't he?
He loves
and
it,
he already
doesn't
is.
I mean, do that. He keeps
not hard,
coming
is
up,
it?
sort of dancing in front of the crowd. It's great.
He was
so
clapping
cool.
before he was clapping the crowd before he came on.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, now I'm desperate for him to score and do well. I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to be great when he scores in front of the big bank. He's
Yeah.
going to absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so are we.
Yeah.
I think he looks a little bit rusty, doesn't he? But I mean, that's
Well,
totally to be expected.
So he'd been at home for 10 days.
Right, yeah. And he had COVID.
He had COVID.
So, yeah, and also even before that, it's like he's had a pre-season, but he's only played one competitive game, a few friendlies.
Yeah.
I'm confident about him, especially now we've got, like I said, with the competition, and maybe even kind of mentoring from like he might. I don't know what they're like, but from like Padraig Amond. So optimistic there now. I still wouldn't mind if we signed another striker, but that's only because poor old Seymour. I'm not.
No. I think left-sided player would be good, wouldn't it? Wing back, left back.
Is that not where the new little... We haven't talked about this.
Edwards has come in.
So he signed Awara Edwards from Bristol City on loan.
Yeah.
And he came on with a few minutes to go against his, City rivals.
Yeah. He nearly scored.
Yeah, he looked... I mean, there's no way to judge anything on that, but he looked fast. He got a yellow card for getting in the way of a free kick.
Yeah, that was mad.
A little bit harsh.
Completely harsh.
I mean, I know refs are entitled to give a yellow card for that, but if they gave yellow cards to every single time a player did something of that nature, there'd be no one left on the pitch.
No.
Anyway, it looks like
He looks fast.
Yeah, and from what a lot of Bristol City fans seemed to think it was a good move for us and for him, and some of them maybe even thought that he could have done something for them this season, because he was on loan at the start of last season at Grimsby, and he was recalled.
Yeah.
So they obviously needed, then I don't know how much they used him when they called him back, but
that, yeah. Although that may have been to do with because Holloway left really early, didn't he? I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe it was more that.
But they didn't send him back. He was recalled by Bristol,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
he? But anyway,
yeah.
So that's good, isn't it? So we have got that. So that's...
Yeah, but he seemed very much an attacking player, but maybe not.
Yeah, but currently we're not really playing with wingers, are we?
No.
We're playing with those wing backs, but I thought maybe that was a move to have that last season's system as an option with wider attackers as well as the attacking fullbacks.
Yeah.
But that would mean we've only got one of them, and we maybe need to sign another one. But yeah.
I mean, Taylor said he thinks there's a couple more coming in, didn't he?
I mean, we should be checking our phones here, because they might be announced one right now.
Yeah. Check your phone while I blither on. But yeah, I think...
Do you have alerts on for that kind of thing? I don't.
Oh, no, I don't. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
Well, it was a...
Right, I can confirm there has been no new signings while we're on the air.
That's...
and if any happen between this being recorded and getting to you, the listener, then we can't be blamed.
Don't blame us. Stop blaming us, will you? It's 11:39 on Monday morning, and we got nothing yet. That doesn't mean nothing's coming this afternoon. We never do a morning announcement of transfers.
No.
Never.
Sometimes they go at midday, don't they?
Yeah.
The old fax machine could, spring into life at any minute.
Well, it'd be remarkable, because I haven't been plugged in for 20 years. That was Saturday anyway, and what a day it was. I spoke to my neighbour about it. I said the standard. Yeah. I didn't say the buses. I said, what a game. She didn't enjoy it. Too easy. So,
Oh, right. Not competitive enough.
Not competitive enough. And I guess that was true. So, you can't win them all, City. But I liked it very much.
Oh, it was great. It was really good fun. I mean, you don't get them that often, do you? I know we scored a lot of goals this time last season, but it was like that feeling when you're kind of by the fourth one, everyone's just laughing.
Yeah.
Literally just laughing.
Oh, just laughing. We were just laughing.
You're laughing at weather. Yeah.
There we are.
We are.
So that was Saturday. More about the upcoming games in a minute. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. Remember, you can always get in touch with us. We're always delighted to get emails or tweets or whatever. We're at Big Bang Pod on Twitter. We're bigbangpod@gmail.com on email, and we're the Big Bang Theory podcast on Facebook. And we love it. And we've had a lovely email from Andy in Australia this week. Thanks, Andy, for getting in touch. And you can do the same, listener, if you want to email us and tell us what's what you think about things. Maybe you know why they sing Goodnight Irene. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, get in touch with better stuff than that, but, whatever.
Why does Joey Barton insist on that shell suit? Anything. I'd like to know.
Let's have Exeter City stuff. I don't really care for Bristol Rovers news, to be honest, but
right.
Anything.
Whatever.
Maybe if that's all you got, then...
Do you wear an Exeter City shell suit?
Maybe email someone in Bristol Rovers. So.
Fine, fair enough. It's a fair comment.
If you do wear that is what I do want to know. If you're wearing an Exeter City shell suit, then that is exactly the sort of correspondence we want.
Some people wearing a new blue shirt.
Yeah, some people had them.
I didn't think it's as good, actually, as I thought on first glance.
This is the thing I'm telling you. It's good with the shorts and the socks. It looks good as a full kit. On its own, it's just a light blue top, isn't it?
So it makes me more inclined to think about the pink one again. Maybe I'll buy the pink one. Pink and blue. Pink and black.
Well, it's not either of those colours, but yeah, okay, you do you.
What is it?
It's like a weird grey.
And?
It's dark grey and
Purple.
pink, sure.
Oh, pink.
It's just, whatever. You want to wear that around...
I mean, I'm not wearing it around.
Do you want to wear that anywhere, even in your own house? Lose the respect of your family.
That's long gone. I would only wear it on like the canal path as a runner. That would be it.
Well, I tell you what, it would be good for that because it's high vis, and you won't get knocked over
by a canal
other
horse.
runners.
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe I'll think about it. I'm just happy because I always look. Honestly, I'm just in my mind. I'm a 10-year-old boy, so I always look at like kits. I think, maybe I'll get a
yeah
Real Madrid shirt, and I'm like, well, I don't want to give them my money. I'll get an Exeter City shirt, and then I've got limited options, of course.
Yes. Get the home shirt. You already got it.
I've got the home shirt. I like to buy one a season. This is why it's good having children. You can
get a dressing gown.
I'm not. If there's one thing I'm opposed to more than
here's something you could get.
Yeah.
Someone on eBay has made themselves.
Yeah.
This bucket hat made out of an old Exeter City shirt.
I saw that.
I think they do it with all sorts of different teams.
So it's a proper shirt.
I mean, talk about losing the respect to your family. But...
Put a carpet right hat on. Well, yeah, all right. If I need to just spend cash quickly,
then I suppose that's not giving your money to the club. That's just giving to someone, just someone on eBay.
Yeah, all right. I'll think about it. I'm more likely to just buy another mug. That's the truth of it. I got about 5 mugs in the cupboard. So there we are. So upcoming games. It's the Papa John's Trophy, the EFL Trophy. This kind of Mickey Mouse thing. Tuesday night this week.
Yeah.
And it's the if you've forgotten or you can't be bothered to remember, it's the group match. You play group games, don't you, first?
Right, yeah.
And we've got Chelsea under-21s in our...
Yeah. If you're a casual football follower or Exeter City follower, this whole tournament basically is a competition in order to get Premier League youth teams competitive matches in order to get them up to speed, playing and at League 2 and League 1 teams' expense, basically, because we haven't got big enough squads to field, a
youth
B
teams.
team.
Yeah,
but so knowing all that, some people quite rightly think I don't want to support this, but it's a bit of a kind of like. I'm always a little bit on the fence of it because I totally agree that it's an absolute joke. And the only reason to do anything about these sort of things is to boycott, really. Yeah. The only thing you can really do is not give it your money. But at the same time, how much is it? The club must have to, we're into it now. We're in it. Do we need to...
The club definitely don't have a say. No League 1 or League 2 club can opt out. Even though I'm sure some of them would like to. Maybe us as well. I mean, obviously, it's 1,000 people through the gates, which the club, isn't to be sniffed at.
A few cups of tea.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I might go. It's cheaper. It's on Tuesday evening. I do precious little with my evenings, and especially in the week. And it's right next door to me, so I might go.
So that's this Tuesday, and it's Chelsea.
Yeah. But I've got a bit. For me, it's a bit of a kind of like moral.
No, I understand that entirely.
Dilemma.
I understand that entirely. So, yeah, who knows what team we'll be playing. We won't know any of the names.
We will know some of the names.
Why?
Well, on the Chelsea side.
Yeah.
No, sorry, won't know any of them.
Yeah.
They're not getting anywhere. They're not ones who are getting anywhere near the first
team. As we know, Chelsea's youth setup.
I couldn't even remember who we had last year. Was it Aston Villa? Something like that? Leicester?
Can't remember.
We beat them anyway.
To be fair, the 2 seasons blur into one. Because the season before, of course... Again, listeners, if you're not familiar with the format...
It didn't happen last year, did it? Because of COVID, did it?
Did it not?
I don't know.
But the season before, we got to the semis.
Didn't miss it.
Didn't we, against Portsmouth?
Oh, yeah, and that was on Sky.
That's right. So it becomes more respectable as it goes along, because inevitably these Premier League teams drop out.
I suppose it does, yeah.
I mean, it's weird and it's stupid.
In concept.
The concept's flawed.
Yeah.
And advantageous to those big clubs and not to us. And in the old days, it used to just be a League 1 and League 2 competition. So back then, particularly before playoffs, chance of Wembley, chance of winning a trophy. Let's not forget, Exeter City have only ever won 1 trophy.
That's totally fine, and I'll be all right with that. In fact, I'd be really enthusiastic about it because like stuff like let's be realistic for a League 2 team. As much as you can get a good run in the other national cups, and you can get some good way of generating some money. If you draw a good team, it's great. You're never going to win it.
No.
But you could win this, conceivably.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So there's that. But I'm looking. The reason I may go is because I really do kind of want to see some of these young Exeter City players, particularly kind of people like James Dodd, who hasn't got any first team action yet, but is very much on the cusp of it. You know,
The goalkeeper,
the
Harry
young
Lee.
goalkeeper. Maybe I don't know. I think Sonny Cox still isn't fit, isn't he? But maybe So there's reasons to go if you're interested in the next generation of City players. Is it at the expense of the supporting this competition? Again, I understand if you don't go, but anyway,
back in the League 2, of course, this Saturday away to Harrogate. So it'll be the first time for City supporters to go to that stadium.
Yep.
Obviously, it was all closed last year.
An historic town, isn't it?
Yeah, a spa town.
Ooh.
It's got a nice tea shop.
Okay, yeah.
It's posh.
Yeah.
It's posh Yorkshire, isn't it?
Yeah. Lovely cobbles.
Yeah. It's kind of the Topsham of the North, but bigger.
Really?
Believe so.
Topsham of the North. Is that what they call it?
That's what they'd like to call it.
Twinned with Topsham.
So, the curious thing about this club, the chairman and the manager are father and son, the Weavers.
Are they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you could cry nepotism, but the Sons got them promoted into the league for the first time ever. So,
Oh, yeah, I think I knew this. I mean, when you're a small team, that's sort of...
those things happen, don't they?
Yeah, but it's even... Wow, it does look nice.
Well, you can go if you want this Saturday and see Exeter
I
City.
can't go this Saturday, but I might go just anyway, even if there's not a match on.
Yeah, but that's probably nicer.
Absolutely.
Of
Gorgeous
interest to
little
Exeter
town.
City supporters.
Lovely viaducts.
Yeah, it's got it all. It's got like drinking water, hasn't it? You get Harrogate water.
Right, of course. Yeah, Betty's Tea Rooms.
Betty's
You're the
Tea
one you're
Room.
thinking of.
Not to be confused with
I'm
Exbridge
jealous.
Cafe.
I'm jealous now of everyone who is going. You're going to see some lovely old buildings, and I'm not.
Talking of lovely old
I'll just have to
structures.
look at Wren's flats like normal.
Talking of lovely old structures that are maybe crumbling and have passed their best, Rory McArdle signed for them.
He's as old as some of those buildings, isn't he?
He is.
He remembers when that Tea Rooms was first founded.
He
knows Betty.
He used to go out with Betty, but she dumped him for a younger man.
Because he was too old.
Too old.
He's bathed in the spa.
Yeah, that's how he keeps his scrotum refreshed. That's how he healed it. Talking of healing, someone else is there who needs a bit of... Maybe that's why he went there, of course.
Poor old paper mache Page.
Lewis Page is there and went off after 11 minutes this Saturday.
Yeah.
Not because his, leg came off, but because he had a horrible head wound, apparently, that wouldn't stop bleeding.
A cut head.
Or cut face or something. I don't know.
I mean...
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I do. And he's just like...
Calamity Jane, isn't he?
Yeah, Unlucky Alf, I was going to say. But
yeah,
a slightly newer reference, but still going to go over the heads of many.
If you follow George Ray on Instagram, you notice he's a bit of a joker. You might have seen the interview.
This is your weekly segment now of City players' Instagram updates.
It's a good...
I've not seen it, so...
It's a good segment. George Ray was getting some grief. By the way, kudos to George Ray, and this is well worth mentioning. He did the City quiz, Craig Bratt's asking him what he thinks about various players and who's the best dressed and who's the quickest with their cash and all that. And he said the worst dressed was Sweeney, who he described as coming out for a night dressed as the boy in the striped pyjamas. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what... presumably he's got striped clothes on.
Is that what he's wearing now? I reckon that's just that... I reckon George Ray got such a conservative dress sense that Piers Sweeney probably had on a stripy T-shirt.
And he called him boy in striped pyjamas.
Yeah. I've seen Piers Sweeney out and about in town, and I definitely didn't think he looked like that. He wasn't wearing anything weird.
If you're dressed like a boy in a film about the concentration camps, that's quite a step.
He wasn't dressed like that when I saw
him.
No. Yeah, if you want to see any City players in the wild...
where do you recommend?
Quite often spot them at Double Locks.
Oh, yeah.
Or more likely the Terrace.
I saw Sweeney and Pret once.
Yeah, Pret. They'll be in there too.
Anyway, on George Ray's Instagram, Jack Sparks made some jokey comment, and George Ray replied, "Here he is, collarbone Chris." It's not his name, George, but I did like it.
That's got a I like that.
Collarbone Chris. To which Sparks
Alliteration.
replied, "Not even my name." So, there you go.
There you go.
Um,
Coming soon, the TikTok segment.
yeah, right. We'll look into that. So anyway, Page head wound.
So maybe he will. Maybe we'll see him. Maybe we won't.
So that defence is one half old City players and not good City players. So
No, Lewis Page is a good player.
that's true, but not reliable then.
I mean, you're troubled. Yeah.
Trick hip.
Yeah. It's a real shame. He seemed like I quite liked Page.
No, absolutely.
I liked McArdle too. He seemed like a nice, friendly old, give you a Werther's, or
Yeah.
you could sit on his knee, read us the story, old bear.
All that stuff.
That's all that kind of thing.
I know. I preferred him in his Victorian phase, to be honest, McArdle. Liked him more back then.
Yeah, I like to. I mean, won't be there for this one again, unfortunately. But I hope there's some good songs about his,
Decrepit body.
yeah,
Mm.
and his, scrotum.
Well, let's hope so. So anyway, I'd say that's entirely winnable. If we go in there like we did against Rovers.
This is the thing. Yeah, we need to be. Obviously, Bristol Rovers we battered them. They defended terribly.
Yeah.
But they're the sort of team they're not a Barrow, who are going to sit deep, boot it away, defend big defensive strong side. They're not that. We always do better against teams who are kind of going to try and play against us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just do. And so, but I do think we need to be, rather than try and go like, oh, okay, these guys are a big bunch of big guys and they're good in the air and they're strong. Rather than go like, we'll try and match that, which we seem to be doing a lot, especially last season. We'd try and copy whoever we were playing. I'd like to see us start that same way, with that high energy and the high, and maybe you get caught out a bit like Bristol Rovers or whatever. But I'd just like to see us try that again, especially against those other teams, but be a bit braver against these kind of stronger, more defensive-minded, perhaps teams.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you're right. I think it was the high energy right from the off on Saturday. Hartridge really kind of set the tone for it. But I think also, actually, some of the players we brought in are more inclined towards that than maybe some of the more conservative players we've had in the past, or players that aren't as energetic. Like, it just seems like...
Well, it's a bit more it reminded me of last season, actually. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
With when we had Joel Randall,
Yes.
because he's someone who you give him the ball and he could have run at defenders with the ball at his feet. He loves to do that, and like it was good. And yeah, I'd love to see that continue. Yeah, talking about Hartridge, I mean, he's obviously he's a great prospect, and I think possibly he's like, the next. I'll say it quietly, but the next kind of Jordan Story kind of, I genuinely am that impressed with him. But he's so stylish. I don't mean the way he dresses or his hair or anything like that.
Boy in the striped pyjamas.
Yeah, I don't mean that. He's kind of like, looks like a sort of ruddy-faced farmhand, if anything. But I just mean on the ball. The way he plays. He's an absolute style... He's such a stylish player. The way he heads a ball, that thing of they smashing a plate of glass.
Yeah.
Every header's like that. By the way, wins every header as well. And he's so stylish when he plays. He's like playing with a smoking jacket on. Do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, he looks.
And for that reason, and for, he's I think possibly my favourite player in the squad this season. Really, it's just like.
Interesting.
I didn't say that much about centre backs. It's just like. You're watching him play and think, oh, it's just everything he does looks good. The way he kicks the ball looks good.
Yeah. Big throw on him too.
Big throw on him. I'm so impressed, and it's like that's one of the things I'm kind of excited about this season is watching him. I hope I'm not proved wrong, and he turns out to be a absolute dud, but I can't see it.
He's already shown how good he is.
One thing we didn't mention, from the Weymouth game we went to as well, when there's not many people there. He's the main person you can hear shouting the entire time.
Yeah.
In that kind of, I know he's a bit older than that, but in that kind of Ethan Ampadu thing, shouting at all these people who are twice
years
his
older than
age.
him,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like we were shouting at McCardle last season probably, and he's like, can't hear him.
I think Sweeney, Ray, and Hartridge look really good combination. Like, I'm not like you. I think the formation needn't be as rigid as,
Do we necessarily even need to play 3 at the back every single game?
maybe not.
Yeah.
But I think that those 3 look great together.
Yeah.
Like Sweeney.
Well, in the one game that they didn't, Hartridge was obviously out. Was out for that Leighton Orient game, wasn't he? And
Yeah.
Grounds came in, and I think just like I know Grounds has had a good career and he's probably kind of like winding down now, but Hartridge is the player I'd want in there instead of
Absolutely.
someone like Jonathan
Oh,
Grounds.
absolutely.
And also, I mean, like, even with Hartridge there, it's not the quickest defensive line.
No.
But they've been really good this season again. Sweeney kind of keeps, proving people wrong.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, there we are. Harrogate this Saturday. Get a result there and everything looks much, much rosier. Obviously, the 4-1 really helped. Any other business, Dan?
Sort of made up our goal difference.
Absolutely.
Made up the points even, what we're on now. Sort of.
That puts us on 3, doesn't it? No, sorry, doesn't it? It puts us on 4.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Can't count. And it's
right?
mid-table. Yeah. 2 draws and a win. There we are. Let's look forward to getting a good result away. And then we've got a nice run of Forest Green, isn't it? And few other games like that that'll be exciting. And that's a real kind of measure of whether we've progressed or not, I think, Forest Green. They've obviously started on an absolute flyer.
Yeah. Obviously, we've come up against a couple of, Leighton Orient look a handy team this year, and I think we're tipped to do quite well. And obviously, they beat us quite easily. But we did okay against Bradford, I suppose.
Yep.
Sort of kind of matched them.
Yep.
And we've seen off Bristol Rovers,
Yep.
who are, in Joey Barton's head, should be back in the Premier League or something. Like I say back, they've never even been there, but
Yeah.
So yeah, signs of life. I mean, we're not getting too carried away.
I tell you what's really struck me this year. Obviously, last year was so chaotic, but there's no Tuesday games. Like, I know there's the Papa John's.
Or did you just have one last week?
No, but I mean, like now, we've got a great big run of no Tuesday
Right.
games. So I think the next one isn't until the 5th of October.
Yeah, well, that's what it's like normal.
That's
in
what it's
normal
like
times,
normally.
isn't
I'd
it?
forgotten.
Yeah.
I was
Is that
expecting
a home game or an away game?
That's away to Cheltenham.
Yeah, so a while before we're back in the.
Yeah.
Unless you do go to the pizza thing.
Yeah, pizza party. Anyway, that is just a boring aside, but there we are. Thanks for listening as always. It's good to have you with us. We'll see you next week for more City-related good time fun. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.